Congratulations, your offer was accepted. Now the real work begins. Hi there, my name is Albert, and in this video we're going to go through each step from going under contract to getting your keys. So who is this video for? It's for home buyers in Lancaster and York County who want a clear, linear roadmap after an offer has been accepted. Now remember, timelines in Pennsylvania are governed by what's written in your contract, so whenever in doubt, please make sure you follow your contract guidelines. Step number 1 is to execute any counters and addendums if possible. We want to do this on the same day so you don't have to keep going backwards and forths trying to change the acceptance date of a contract. Make sure every counter or revision is fully signed by all parties, yours especially, and your agent will circulate a final PDF for your records. You want to make sure you save and print the fully executed agreement of sale with all of the addendums. You're going to need this for your lender inspections and insurance. Number 2 is to get your earnest money deposit in. So the timeline and also the methods of getting it there safely. So when is it due? In Pennsylvania, the timeline is set by your contract. 5 days after execution is pretty common. However, it is negotiable. Let's say you do a 5 days. The day that the contract is executed is day 0, and then you would have 5 days from there. Now remember, if you close on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, that is going to include your weekends. So this can mean if your offer gets accepted on a Tuesday, you really have to have it in by Friday. How can you pay your earnest money deposit? So the most common way is a wire transfer. This is best for speed and security. However, if you're not comfortable doing stuff online, get a cashier's or a bank check, and you're going to want to make sure you coordinate this with your escrow company. So go to the bank, get the information you need to provide it to them, and then take it straight to the escrow or the title company and give it to them in person. You're going to avoid using personal checks unless the escrow holder explicitly allows it. However, a cashier's check is more typical. Going back to wire for a moment, we want to make sure we are safe when sending our wires, so wire fraud safety, and this is non-negotiable. Call a known number from your agent's intro email or your title company's website or business card to confirm the wiring instructions before sending any money. Never rely on phone numbers inside an email. That includes wire instructions. Be suspicious of any last-minute changes to wiring instructions, and if something like that does happen, make sure you give the title company a call to confirm that change. After sending, you want to confirm the receipt by calling the title company at the same verified number. Now, the reason why you don't want to miss the deposit deadline is it can jeopardize your deal. If there's going to be any delay, tell your agent straight away so they can get you an extension, because if you don't get the deposit in, the seller has the right to terminate and you won't be under contract anymore and you could lose the home. Number 3, we're going to lock in lending and submit those documents. So this is usually done in the first 3 days. You're going to e-sign any loan disclosures you get from the lender and keep uploading any requested documents. And there will be a lot of them, and sometimes you have to upload them multiple times, but guess what is what you have to do to get the home. This is going to include your pay stubs, W-2s, 1099s, bank statements, gift letters if you're receiving a gift, and if you've got any large deposits going into the bank, any explanations for those. So no selling anything for $10,000 on Facebook Marketplace and depositing the cash straight into your account. We also want to make sure you get the appraisal ordered as soon as possible. Ask your lender when they're going to order the appraisal. Often this happens as soon as the disclosures are done, but you really want to get this done as quickly as possible. If you haven't already selected your homeowner's insurance, this would be a good time to reach out to your insurance agent and make sure you have your agent send them an executed contract. This will then also get sent to your lender and title company once you found an insurance quote that makes sense, and all of these will then affect your overall monthly payment. Number 4 is to order the inspections. You're going to want to schedule these as quickly as possible so you have enough time to review and reply within your contingency window. Typically, it's 10 days on the contract. We usually ask for 15 just because during those busy periods, it can be trickier to get an inspector. The different types of home inspections, you can get a home inspection, a radon, termite, sewer, septic, water quality, and basically, depending on the type of property and how competitive the market is in that particular moment, you may be able to get lots of inspections if you feel like you need them, or you may not be able to get any at all. Typically, a home inspection is going to run you somewhere between $300 and $700. And if you are getting multiple inspections, like a home inspection and a termite inspection, it's going to be towards that higher number. A radon-only inspection may be around $125. Water testing could be somewhere between $100 and $250. So again, they do fluctuate a little bit, but for a home inspection only, you're running somewhere between $300 and $550. Who books and who pays it? So buyers will typically pay for a home inspection, and you have a choice of which home inspection company you use. If you don't have any recommendations, speak with your agent. I'm sure they can provide you with some guidance. Number 5 is to read your inspection report like a pro. Focus on health, safety, and major systems. This means the roof, structure, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, significant moisture, failed appliances, environmental concerns, or potentially even radon if you have that. Minor items or cosmetics are usually not grounds for a major renegotiation, but it's good to know what you may want to do in the first few years of owning the property. Number 6 is the inspection reply and negotiations, and there are some very strict deadlines on these, and if you miss it, even though you had a home inspection, you won't be able to use it to negotiate further. Your contract sets 2 separate clocks: to complete the inspections and get the reports, and the second is to reply and negotiate. So to request repairs, credits, or accept it as is. In our market, buyers will prioritize big unforeseen issues such as roofing repairs or structural stuff and use that as a credit or a repair rather than using the inspection to criticize every small paint chip. A pro tip is to put the requested repairs and credits in writing with supporting documents from your inspection report. If you're asking for a credit, we'll help you coordinate with the lender entitled to make sure that it fits within your loan and seller assist rules. Number 7 is your appraisal, which is ordered by your lender, but you will usually have to pay for this up front. The appraiser confirms the home's market value and checks the minimum property standards depending on that type of loan. Conventional loans, Fannie and Freddie appraisals can close as is if the issues are minor and don't affect the safety, soundness, or structural integrity of the property. Any significant issues are required to subject to repairs to closing or proof of completion for selling. For FHA, the appraiser must flag items that fail FHA's property acceptability criteria. Think peeling lead paint on properties pre-1970, if they're missing handrails, any GFI outlets that may not be there, unsafe systems, and the lenders may require these to be corrected before they'll insure the loan for you. For VA, they enforce stricter minimum property requirements. The water has to be safe, sound structure, adequate heat, electrical, proper drainage, etc. Anything that doesn't quite hit that list of criteria will require repairs prior to closing. If the appraisal comes in low, you and your agent can negotiate a price reduction, bring additional cash, or use appraisal gap strategies discussed during the offer prep. Number 8 is title work and closing disclosure and your ALTA statement. Title search and title insurance. Your title company searches for any liens, easements, or ownership issues with the property. Assuming you're free and clear, we move on to the next stage. The closing disclosure. By federal rule, your lender must ensure you receive the CD at least 3 business days before closing. Review it carefully and ask any questions immediately. The ALTA statement. A standardized line-by-line item accounting of the buyer and seller's credits and debits you'll see at closing. This does not replace the CD. Think of the CD as a lender doc and the ALTA as a settlement and accounting document. There may be slight differences depending if the settlement gets pushed back, but they should be pretty close in number. Number 9 is your clear to close, final numbers, and cash to close. Keep responding quickly to lender conditions, update the pay stubs and letters, especially if you've been going for a bit of a longer closing. And then once underwriting is satisfied, you'll get something called the clear to close. This is usually about 7 days before closing if you've got all the documents in time. Once underwriting is satisfied, you'll get a clear to close and final numbers, the CD plus the ALTA. You can then coordinate your wire or bring a cashier's check with the correct amount of cash to close to your title company. You can re-verify your wire info by phone before sending. Number 10, your utilities and insurance and move-in logistics. So 2 to 5 days before, you want to start calling all of the various utilities companies, electric, gas, water, sewer, internet, to make sure you have them there come closing day. You'll also want to confirm the home insurance binder is active for the lender and title, else they won't be able to lend you the money for the property. Number 11 is the final walkthrough, typically within 24 hours of closing. I always like to do it on the morning of, just to make sure that nothing crazy has happened between the seller moving out and you moving in. Bring your inspection resolution list just to verify that all of the agreed repairs have been completed. If there were any receipts, make sure you try and get them if they were promised to you. Check systems and appliances and make sure that no new leaks and damage has been done in the property or that the condition has substantially changed from when you went to purchase it. We want to ensure all the seller's belongings have been removed unless they were included in the agreement of sale. Number 12, we have settlement day. So if you've got this far, congratulations, we are finally about to get our keys. However, make sure you bring a photo ID and payment method approved by title. That's your cashier's check or your wire. I always recommend you bring a personal checkbook as well, just in case there's a few extra dollars you need to bring. Expect to sign a lot of documents. This will be the note, the mortgage, there'll be a stack of disclosures and your ALTA statement. Once the lender has sent over the money and you bought your cash to close, you will officially be funded and recorded. This means you get your keys. Now, my advice would be, after you get the keys and the home is officially yours, I would change the locks and smart locks. And if there's anything like a Ring doorbell, I would take those down and see if you can get them set up for yourself. You're going to want to test those smoke alarms, CO2 detectors, and replace any filters. And make sure you save your closing packet for your taxes and warranty claims. And finally, you can start to enjoy making memories and enjoying the home that is yours. If you're interested in finding more about the buying process or looking at making that move in Lancaster, click the link in the description below for a quick free 15-minute consultation, and we can make that next home dream of yours a reality.